Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Game of Thrones Kingsroad. So this is a game that you can find on Steam's Early Access program for, well, a variety of prices. The standard pack is 25 bucks, deluxe is 50, ultimate pack is 90, and once the game leaves early access, it will be free to play. It's also a mobile game, so pretty much you're paying for the privilege of playing early on the computer. Oh boy. So at first I thought this was going to be like I don't know, like a Game of Thrones RPG, but it turned out to be a very heavy mobile game. There are three different classes that you can choose between. There's the sellsword, the knight, and the assassin. And in case you're wondering, yes, there is a character customization, and yes, I was able to go back to the screen that you're looking at now and pick a different character if I wanted to. So at least it's nice to know that, if you pick a class that you don't like, you can go back and pick a different one. In the beginning, like, the game just threw me into that choice. I didn't even get a chance to adjust my options yet, and it had already thrown me into picking a class. And I'm sitting there, music's blaring, I can't even turn it down because the options menu isn't available. I'm like, I hate it when games do that. They force a freaking cutscene or a window down your throat and you can't adjust the freaking options first. It pisses me off. Anyway, so like I said, limited character customization here. You can adjust face, you can adjust, like, you can even, like in The Sims 4, you can drag specific parts of the face, eyebrows. So, there is quite a bit here that you can customize. And the tutorial brings you to the wall. For those of you that haven't watched Game of Thrones, it's an area that separates well, I haven't seen Game of Thrones in a long time, and I don't know the lore, but there's these wildlings on the other side of it, and they're trying to guard and keep people on one side. Anyway, just watch Game of Thrones. Anyway, so I'm not a member of the Night Watch, which was like the guard at the wall. Rather, I'm like a relative of one of the Night Watch people, and my uncle. There's a whole story behind that. But anyway, crap hits the fan, you do combat, you learn how to swing, yada, yada, yada. And then you meet familiar characters like Samwell shows up, and it's just a cutscene, mind you, but it's nice to know that there are actual characters from the show in here. Jon Snow, again, plays a huge part in the tutorial, kind of guiding you as to, like, what you should do next. But it's very hand-holdy, which is fine. The combat sequences were pretty easy, and the main boss fight, which was the giant that you saw earlier, it felt more like a Dark Souls kind of thing, where you really have to pay attention to what he's doing and react accordingly. So combat in this game is probably the best part, but even then, it's not as good as other games I've played. Now, once I got past that, I got into, like, the game just threw stuff at my face. Oh, here's the 7-day reward system. I'm like, what do you mean 7-day reward system? What's this forging steel day 1, day 2? Am I playing a mobile game? And then I Googled this game's name, Game of Thrones, Kingsroad. It's a mobile game. I didn't know that going in. I thought it was a Game of Thrones RPG. No, it's a mobile game, and it really shows. Once you get past that tutorial part and you open up all these menus, you can claim all of these rewards in this screen and this currency. Oh, I got copper. Oh, I got something called gold, dragon gold something or other, and then I got this, and I got all these other. I hate it when games do that, because it's one of the reasons I stopped playing Lost Ark. I was enjoying the Lost Ark, like, gameplay, but then the game threw like 30 different currencies at me. I'm like, I can't keep up with this. I'm getting too old for this crap. And I stopped playing it. And I got the same feeling here. Some of you may not mind all of this. But my main purpose today is just to reassure you that this is a mobile game. This is not a Game of Thrones RPG. It's not a dedicated action RPG. It's a mobile game. It's revolved around... It's 25% action RPG and 75% mobile game. It has the systems, and it's very unfortunate, extremely unfortunate. Now, Parts of the combat were okay. I will say, however, that because this is a mobile game, you're always online. And I, even on the lowest possible graphical settings, and I'm running Helldivers fine, I'm running other high end games fine. This game, like, stutters a bit. Like, if I'm in combat, sometimes it'll stutter. And it's always at the worst times, too, or if I'm running along and it stutters and, it throws off my timing. That's a problem, especially in an action RPG where you're trying to be precise, because there is a stealth mechanic in this game. There's the X-ray vision mechanic, and granted, the stealth isn't great. I mean, you can the AI is stupid. He'll look at you. He'll look at you. Oh, the bar's raising. You just move behind the wall. Oh, he's fine. And nothing's there. Must have been the wind, kind of thing. So even in a game in 2025, this game's stealth system is just awful. Now, not to say that the combat is terrible. Like, some of the animations were actually quite fun. There's a mighty strike that will pop up from time to time. You hit F to do that. There are some quick time events that involve, like, repeatedly hitting F, which I don't like. So just be warned, even though you're watching a cutscene, there may be a quick time event that may pop up that you weren't expecting. Your dodge roll is limited. There's a charge, like, you can't just spam dodge roll to get out of the way. You have like 3 charges of it, and then you have to wait for it to recharge, so that's interesting. So yeah, combat isn't bad. It's not bad, like, and it's fairly brutal and gruesome too. However, there's something called momentum in this game that really determines how strong you are, and it's just weird to call it momentum. I don't know if it's like a foreign country common thing to say, but like in a standard RPG, your gear levels, like the stats on that gear determine how strong you are typically. In this game, like, your gear gives you momentum points. And if you get better gear, you get more momentum points. And momentum points ultimately determines, how strong you are compared to other characters. And there are instances where, if you don't have enough momentum, you won't be able to do these areas, which is fine. I mean, it's an RPG, but it's worth noting that. And there's a trait tree, which is kind of like a talent tree. As you level up, you can put points into attack, defense, or support. So it thankfully does something that an action RPG would, like in Assassin's Creed. You can put points into different things to make yourself more powerful, but typically it's like increase attack power by 1%. By 1%. Oh, and then another 1%. And then another one. Like, I hate games that give me, like, multipliers of, like, 0.01% or something. 1%. Come on. But yeah, the inventory system feels a bit mobily as well, in the sense that, you don't have this, like, Diablo-style inventory system. It's like you click on the helmet, and these are all the things that you could equip, for your head slot. So it's not as easy as, say, Diablo, the the inventory system, which I wish it were. But yeah, I have mixed feelings about this game, because I was going into it, I was enjoying the story, and I'm like, okay, it's stuttering, but the combat isn't terrible. I'm enjoying, like, diving out of the way and, blocking, and, oh, if I level up my character, I can now introduce a new combo. Combos are another big part of this game, where, you can put points into combos and active abilities. For example, at least my knight that I picked, one of the 3 classes, there's a shoulder charge, and if you level that up enough, you can get more points into various things. And there's even, like, other things that I'll be unlocking over time. Slashes, boost morale, riposte, stance. And you can only have 4 of them active, I think, at a time. And then there's your default stuff, which is your class-related stuff. And then you've got your combos, like I said earlier. So, like, left click. But it's weird because I wish it would tell me what buttons to hit to do that thing. Like, the combo strike has a picture of 2 swords and then 3 heavy swords, but I'm guessing that's light attack, heavy attack. But I wish it would, like, tell me the keystroke combinations necessary to perform those things, because I can only guess based off of the iconography. So, like, I'm happy that these things are in a mobile game. However, it's not done well. And then the artifact system. There's you're going to be gaining these artifacts, and I just know, and these artifacts are pretty powerful because they can be leveled up multiple times, and you need resources to upgrade them. Again, RPGs do that too, but there's a shop where you can get artifacts and stuff, and this is the part where I'm like starting to get suspicious. You know, these mobile games typically lead you along. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great. Oh, by the way, to get past this part, you need to pay more money because whatever. Like you hit that wall. And I'm afraid that this game has that too, but I don't want to spend another 20 hours to get there. I really don't. But I was liking the boss fights. Like I had to craft some moose bait or elk bait it was, and I was fighting this thing. That was fun. Like, you know, dodging around. You know, I enjoyed that part of it. Like these sequences were the best part for me. I enjoyed the combat. I enjoyed the tactical maneuvering when it didn't stutter. When it didn't stutter, I was enjoying it. But then when I beat this black elk, I had to spend something called RP to claim these rewards or something. And I'm like, what? Since when do I have to spend currency to earn crap? And then I looked it up online. And I'm just put this post here, reward point system that someone on the Steam forums had mentioned. I'm not going to read this off to you, but when I read through this, my eyes glossed over. And I'm like, no, I'm done. Because this has so much room for abuse at some point to where people are going to be encouraged to spend money to get more of this RP reward point system. I put my foot down here and I stopped playing. Maybe it's doable, you know, on a free-to-play level, but I just wasn't having it. This is the part that turned me off from the game completely. And maybe, you know, maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking it is, but then I think to myself, you know, this is $25, you know, right now when it doesn't go free to play. It's $25 for early access. And now it's going to throw microtransactions at me out the wazoo. I don't agree with that. So, and you have to spend in-game currency to fast travel. Like, oh, Jesus. So I suspect that down the line, this game is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse when it comes to those microtransactions. So I stopped playing it. I won't come back to it. I was expecting an RPG. Instead, I got an action RPG, but heavily mobilized. You know, and I won't stand. I'd rather just go play Assassin's Creed. I don't have to deal with all that crap, that microtransaction crap. I'd rather just go play that. And, you know, if you haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey yet, just pick that up instead, and you'll thank me later. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.